Fire for your mind. The Kosher Clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Asking fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is Kosher Condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
Was created. Not really. What she's really saying is the women are not feminine anymore. They don't do anything that wives do. They don't hold the same values that a wife would hold anymore. They mostly hoes. They mostly all doing the same thing. That's why she said it ain't many. And her little devil, the little demon next to her, and we the prize. Y'all are not the prize. And if women can sit there and be truthful in any type of situation such as this, then you have all these other hyenas that don't want her to talk about what they doing. Why don't she want her to talk? Because she's telling the truth. Because if a woman can now sit and say, nah, we kind of ain't nothing. We down bad too. Then how do you think the men have felt in all of this time? How do you think black men have been made to feel in all of this time? Looking around and it's a needle in a haystack. See, this is why I named it like I did. How black women got married to the state. Because the state came smooth like a dude. Like another dude trying to scoop a woman away from her man. Listen, if you want me to pay, he can't pay your bills right now. Or y'all been struggling to do it. Or he has been paying bills, but you've been living in like a slum type of situation. You've been living in poverty. He got you in poverty with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids. Now y'all eating? Yeah, sometime, when he can keep a job. But what about when he can't keep a job? What about when the jobs dry up? What about when he can't get that little money that y'all be doting on? Then what? Y'all be hungry. But see over here, baby girl, you ain't gotta be hungry no more. Cause I'm the whole state, okay? I'm the whole state. I got a bag. I like that.
Whew. How does it feel to know that you failed at life? Like, let me rephrase it in a way that you'll be more liable to answer me respectfully, hopefully. But I know you men, you lot don't like to take accountability for a bunch of stuff. So let's say, how does it feel to know that life failed you?
A woman who has chores is drinking a bottle of wine in the bathroom.
How does it feel to know that because you are so insufferable, ignorant, and arrogant, that all of the women, all of the female species in your vicinity are repulsed by you? Like, how does it feel to know that because you're so uncomfortable to be around, because you're so disturbing to the women in your vicinity, you have to actually go travel to the corners of the earth where nobody knows you. You have to skip out on a 2,000-mile radius to go to a community where nobody knows you because everyone that does want nothing to do with you.
They have brains too. You know, they have expectations too. They have desires too. They're full people. You know what I'm saying? The women that you're avoiding here because they're sassy, because they're mean, because they're this, that, and the third, you go up to these other countries where women have even higher priorities and bigger non-negotiables, and what do you do?
She is on the phone with 911 right now.
But if you are new here, let's briefly go through the profile of your passport brother. So they are a very dusty sector of the internet. Okay, they are a group of dusty nignogs who travel specifically to get access to ex and women abroad. And they say it's because they want access to better groups of women who are fit and feminine and submissive. But here is the reality. These dudes are broke. They're non-select, like Philosophy said. They're dusty incels who no one wants in America. So they take their little couple of coins that they earn from throwing boxes at FedEx to third world countries where the value of the US dollar is higher and the cost of living is cheaper.
This is the love we have for our daddy, okay? And the love that he gives is so pure. And as a girl, you are to learn that love and translate it in every other area of your life. This is what love is. It is something pure. It is not something selfish. It is not transactional. It is not any of them negative things. It is something so positive and so wonderful that you can't wait to share it with everybody else. You really can't.
Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own.
And he had the ability to make her wealthy independently. And he had the ability to forward her career. As she said, he's responsible for a lot of her success, right? And a lot of the things that she was able to do is because of what he did and how he poured into her. Mm-hmm. So her hypergamy actually blew up in her face, right? Because it was carnal and not done in the proper fashion. She could have spurred her husband on to help her. It could have been a back and forth, but she didn't see her husband in the same light that she saw Robert because she credited Robert for her success, not her husband.
Right.
Mainly because the marriage didn't last long enough. Probably because he found out about it and left, but that's speculation. In any case, she did not perform her hypergamy properly. So now she's an old woman, and that tactic failed.
Right.
It failed her. For all of her financial success, she failed as a woman, and women don't get it. And that's the message that I wanted to convey. The money didn't make her successful. Being a CEO of BET didn't make her successful. She actually failed in her purpose. Her purpose as a woman, the purpose of women is men, not being a CEO.
Right.
So that's why it's not seen as a success for her, because she failed to do what women do, and that's maintain a healthy, functional relationship. She had an illicit relationship with Robert. And that blew up actually in both of their faces, because I bet you dollars to donuts she told him that she wasn't ever going to tell that. And she could have went to her grave with all of them details, but now she got a little memoir and then put all his whole name in there and all his business.
It's always Jermaine's fault.
It's always Jermaine's fault.
The carnal hypergamy, real quick, I want to show you something, and then we're going to land this plane in a minute. It's getting good. God, I wish I could have you longer, but I know you got to go. But hold tight. I want to show you something real quick, because once again, this is carnal hypergamy, and it's causing a lot of men distress. Hold tight. So many modern men are like when you and I grew up, Sister Sigma, where we had Anita Baker, where she said, "I apologize," and Keith Sweat, "Make this last forever," and Force MD, "Tears." That's when music was music. Even though it was secular, it was good music. But consistent with that, many men are crying because they're in Babylon. They're in Babylon. And consistent with the book of Ezekiel, they said, "Can these dry bones live?" And they're waiting to get liberated because the gynocrats have suppressed not only their heart, but the gynocrats have suppressed their body, soul, mind, and spirit. I grew up in Church of God in Christ, Pentecostal Holiness. There was a great bishop named the Bishop Charles E. Williams. And I'm going to play this little clip real quick, and then I'm going to ask you about the passport, bros, and then I'm going to let you go. But listen to this.
Then said he unto me,
Then the Lord said unto me,
Prophesy unto the wind.
Preach separated long enough. Now let's come out of this.
A lot of black men are leaving Babylon. They're going to Zion. And Zion is consistent with the passport bro movement. What's your take on this passport movement? Because it's a spectrum. Some always encapsulate the passport movement as tricks and whatever. But I ran a clip earlier, and you saw couples, you saw relationships, and you saw men getting wives. What's your take on the passport movement? And is it safe to say that carnal hypergamy has more or less caused the explosion of the passport movement?
My general take on the concept of passport bros is, I feel like men should do what they feel is best for them.
Yes, ma'am. Right.
If they think it's best to go overseas to find a woman with more traditional values in order to have wives and things of that nature, that's fine. I don't actually have a dog in that fight. And I certainly don't have anything bad to say. Are there possibly some bad apples in that group? There's bad apples in every group.
Right.
All right. There's bad apples that have the potential to make everybody else look bad. Because are some people going to trick and do all this other stuff? Probably. But I still have the stance that people are going to do what they want to do anyway. And it's not beyond black men to be able to take up like everybody else and say, what's best for me? What do I want to do for me? And like I said, if that means go out and get a woman from another country that has another set of values that identifies and more aligns with his own, that he can make a wife, fine. I don't have any issues with that at all. Do I think carnal hypergamy played a role? It played a role.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just, I wouldn't nail it to just the hypergamy piece. Right. It's the entire mindset.
So am I right?
Because see, white men do passport bros too.
Mm-hmm.
And they deal with feminism from their women as well. Mm-hmm. However, Black men, we have a different subculture and subset and mindset where Black women actually feel a sense of ownership of Black men. Mm-hmm. And a lot of Black women feel that way towards their sons, mm-hmm. which is where we get son husbands from.
Son husbands, no doubt. Right.
We get son husbands from that. Mm-hmm. And that comes from a sense of possession. Mm-hmm. You're mine. And so therefore I get to do what I want to do with you, even if that means that I corrupt you or I destroy you somehow. And the issue now is that since Black men have been seen collectively as the possession of Black women, how dare they exercise autonomy to say, I don't actually have to be here in order to deal with you as a demographic of women. That has to do with the entire mindset, the entire gynocentric mindset, of which the carnal hypergamy is only a single piece. So it's more about, I think personally, and the men can correct if that's not correct, but that's just my personal take, that collectively as a group, Black men are saying, I'm actually not the property of Black women.
Right.
So I don't want to be treated like property anymore. Like, you don't own me. So since you don't own me, and I'm actually my own person with my own mind and my own ability to exercise whatever options I choose in my life, this is how this is going to go. Ultimately, men are problem solving. Right. And because women didn't do what men asked of them, I keep telling women they're not going to like the way in which men solve a problem. Because if you're not going to cooperate, they're just going to start solving a problem, and you're not going to like the outcome, because the outcome to the resolution to the issue is not going to go in your favor. It's going to go in their favor. So that's kind of what I think about the role that collectively Black women have played in this explosion of passport bros from the area of Black men. That makes sense.
Real quick before I let you go, dear, and thank you so kindly. I could literally talk with you for 5 hours, but your time is important. I love talking with you. You stimulate me intellectually. We could be playing basketball, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. But do you see a restoration, before I let you go, of traditionalism in America? Do you see a restoration of traditionalism in America? Or do you feel like we're heading, or do you think that we're heading towards what some theologians call the apocalypse? And the Muslims say the Mahdi, and Christians believe the imminent return of Christ. What do you see about traditionalism? Do you see it coming back? Do you see a kosher patriarchy coming back? Or do you think it's going to take a de-evolution with the purging of fire to bring back balance to a broken system?
Well, balance will always be restored. Balance is always restored, no matter what. Sometimes it takes what I call a bio-cult irony event, a change biologically, culturally, and environmentally simultaneously in order to produce a new value system. That can take form in any way, shape. It can take form in a total economic collapse, right? War does it, right? You referenced the coming of the Mahdi or the apocalypse, or that's going to happen regardless whether we reach a balance or not, especially in my belief. That's inevitable. But is there going to be a swing back into traditional values? Yeah, because it always does. The pendulum swings one way, it has to come back and swing another way, right? So that's like a rule of nature. That's just what's going to happen. Now, the process of that is what's questionable.
Right.
How is that going to happen? What does that actually look like? Does it look like a economic collapse? Because it might, because we're actually kind of headed there in America, right? And this is signaled by the SVB bank issue, right? These banks folding because of the money. I'm not even going to get into fiat currency and all.
No, you're fine.
But in my opinion, it can take form in any way or shape, but the balance will always be restored.
Talk about your book, and then we're going to end this. And thank you once again so kindly. You've been an awesome host. I love your candor. I love your kindness. I love your intellectual acumen. You've been awesome. I mean, extremely awesome. Hopefully we can do this again, but I do respect your time. Tell the audience about your book real quick before I let you go. We were right under the 2-hour threshold. So tell the people about your book and how to get your books and what the book is about. Books are about.
Well, I do have a new book. I have it right here. You know, I always got it by my side.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's called Reclaiming the Black Feminine, the Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery. It's on sale. Thank you, Brandon, for the link at crimsoncure.com. And this book is, I like to say that this book is sort of my channel in written form. In here, you'll find some solutions as well. So I don't just go over the problem and the issues and blah, 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 blah. These are full with practical steps that women can take in order to actually reclaim that feminine, to accept truth, right? So that it can clear their error.
Right.
And I've actually had women to email me and say that the book actually really was dynamic and it helped them. It's not a super long read, but it's impactful.
It's impactful.
So not only is it on sale at crimsoncure.com, it's also on sale on Amazon as well. So you can get the digital copy on Amazon and you get the physical copy on crimsoncure.com.
All right, thank you, love. Any closing comments before you go? And you have been dynamite. So, any closing comments before you go?
Because you are talking to kid a dynamite. Pure dynamite.
Just closing comments. I'm glad that we had this conversation about hypergamy. I think it was necessary. I just want to thank everyone for coming in and supporting the conversation. And that's just about it. Just to have a more open mind about female nature and what it actually is, in its rightful place versus in its distorted place. And that's pretty much it.
No doubt. Listen, I love you, sister. Thank you for tuning in. Maybe we'll do this again whenever you're free. Thank you once again for your love and kindness. Be well. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. All right, guys. I'm shout to my man, Andrew Baker, for the $20 super sticker. He said, salute Kosher and Crimson. The melanated woman hypergamy is unbearable to a feminine woman because a feminine woman helps get a man into kosher hypergamy. Kosher hypergamy is fit and proper. It's grounded in virtues, discipline, and spiritual truth. That's why men are traveling abroad. But see, your critics are extremely ignorant because many times the critics of the passport movement always come from a regressive mind state. They always come from cultural or more or less confirmation bias. And that confirmation bias, guys, many times is not predicated in truth, it's predicated in error.
Your vicinity are repulsed by you. Like, how does it feel to know that because you're so uncomfortable to be around, because you're so disturbing to the women in your vicinity, you have to actually go travel to the corners of the earth where nobody knows you. You have to skip out on a 2,000-mile radius to go to a community where nobody knows you because everyone that does want nothing to do with you.
Shout out to my man, Real Bravo Network for the 20-piece. He said, excellent message. Too many men have been given female software due to the volume of black men being raised in female-led homes. and you are 1,000,000% correct, and that's a deal, right?
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it.
All right, let's finish listening to this. And guys, the link has been dropped. You guys want to come in and add to the conversation. Have you been a victim of carnal hypergamy? Hold tight.
You know what I'm saying? The women that you're avoiding here because they're sassy, because they're mean, because they're this, that, and the third, you go up to these other countries where women have even higher priorities and bigger non-negotiables, and what do you do?
She is on the phone with 911 right now.
But if you are new here, let's briefly go through the profile of your passport brother. So they are a very dusty sector of the internet. Okay, they are a group of dusty nignogs.
And once again, guys, you notice what this woman is saying. It's always coming from a place of disparage. What they do to take all men and encapsulate all men in a negative light, and they paint the movement as a movement of ignorant men, a movement of degenerates, not understanding that many times their behavior played a role in the pathologies of men. But see, this is not going to stop men that are kosher. This is not going to stop men that are in their super ego, which is morality. It's going to only make a small movement become bigger, because many of the people that are critics of the passport movement don't understand that the movement is a spectrum. Are there pookies in the passport movement? Yes, they're called Pukma pirates. And these men cause you to regurgitate because their behavior is repugnant. Yeah, the Pukma pirate, he causes chaos. He steals the glory in other ecosystems because he was raised by his mom. He over-identifies with his mother. He doesn't identify with masculine virtues because he's a Pukma pirate. He has what's called emotional gas. I'm going to do a show on that at some point. I'm going to do a show called emotional gas. That's a term that I created. So if you hear anybody talking about emotional gas, know they stole it from me, because I am the kosher clinician. But they are Pukma pirates because their behaviors are irreprehensible. But by and large, there are men with receipts that are traveling abroad to get wives. And even if men didn't travel abroad to get wives in the intermediate, black men and all men, you don't have to answer to no damn body. You are men. You don't have to answer to your mama. You don't have to answer to the women in your life. You don't have to answer to nobody. You are a man. Men do what they want to do. Boys do what they can do. You don't have to explain yourself to simps. You don't have to explain yourself to spam. Simps pandering against men because they're spam. They're processed men. They're processed just like spam, because spam is processed. It's processed meat. You don't have to explain yourself to spam. You do what you want to do. Because until the community come back and give to black men, until the community march for the good, righteous black men. I'm not talking about these black men that are causing chaos in society. I'm not talking about the Pukma pirates that are getting women pregnant and running away from their responsibilities. But I'm talking about the blue-collar brothers, the brothers that make $50,000 to $100,000 a year. I'm talking about the white-collar brothers that were in the catacombs studying when everybody else was out partying. I'm talking about talking to the average white, the hype brothers that are good men, but they can't get a decent woman because of hoflation. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you on tonight, you don't have to settle for mediocrity. You have the power because you are the prize catcher. Don't listen to the naysayers of the world, man. Don't listen to the naysayers, because the naysayers will tell you that you're not the prize. But irregardless of the laws, even though it seems plausible that you're not the prize because of the laws and the power that the laws give to modern women. But when you begin to internalize, because I told you guys that world travel is one of the 7 steps to helping men become optimized. You will understand and begin to see that you are the prize and that there are feminine women that will honor you and respect you. We know that there are some good sisters here in America. They have not been found yet. But it's like finding a needle in the haystack. And to masculine men on their purpose, you don't have time to keep waiting to find a traditional woman that has not been indoctrinated by liberal dogma and dogma that never see the woman as a problem, consistent with the therapist, Nicole Lewis. Hold tight.
Specifically to get access to ex and women abroad. And they say it's because they want access to better groups of women who are fit and feminine and submissive. But here is the reality. These dudes are broke. They're non-select, like Philosophy said. They're dusty incels who no one wants in America. So they take their little couple of coins that they earn from throwing boxes at FedEx to third world countries where the
and look at how this woman, well, how goofy behind denigrates men. Look at the belittling. Look at this wild hyena that's operating in carnal hypergamy. Because this woman is operating in carnal hypergamy. She does not have feminine demure. She's very regressive, and she's in denial about the power that you men have. Once you understand what your power is, you will no longer be a saboteur or a slave to your own ignorance. You will begin to be like my brother James Turner that's been in the beautiful state or the beautiful country of South Africa, where the women have what's called noshes. And once you get you a nosh, tell them, Brother James, once they get them a nosh, they'll never be the same again. You can get you a natural nosh in South Africa. You don't have to worry about BBLs. You can get you a natural nosh, a natural South African woman from the Hosian tribe. A woman that will honor you and respect you, because women like this denigrate the typical average man.
Value of the US dollar is higher and the cost of living is cheaper.
This is the love we have for our daddy, okay? And the love that he gives is so pure. And as a girl, you are to learn that love and translate it in every other area of your life. This is what love is. It is something pure. It is not something selfish. It is not transactional. It is not any of them negative things. It is something so positive and so wonderful.
That's a woman that's operating in kosher hypergamy. Once again, I'm going to revisit it. A woman that's operating in kosher hypergamy is a woman that's a spiritual woman. Listen, men, you cannot make a woman that's a candidate for wife if she cannot control her feelings. You need a woman that has been conditioned and trained to control her feelings. A woman can never love you unless she can control her feelings. Once she's a woman that has introspection like the traditional women abroad, then you know that woman will make an ideal candidate for a wife, or the odds are higher. A woman that's in kosher hypergamy, once again, she strives for mental discipline. Her feelings are in check. Women are slaves to their feelings like men can be slaves to their loins. She emulates the Proverbs 31 woman. She can control her feelings for the mission of the marriage. That's why men are traveling abroad, because they're looking for traditional women. They're looking for traditional women. They are looking for traditional women that understands the mission and understands that it will not be an egalitarian relationship, especially for the men that have done the work, the James Turners of the world. That's a high earner. I mean high earner. James Turner is a high earner. The other brothers that are blue-collar brothers that are high earners, your $60,000, your $50,000 is enough for women in other countries. But here in America, you have been conditioned to think that it's not enough. And because some of these women are operating in carnal hypergamy, it makes you feel like you are inadequate. And that inadequacy is based on the neglect that you men received as boys and men. You still have issues with your self-esteem. You still have issues with your greatness because the mother in your life was toxic. And she taught you to think that carnal hypergamy was necessary to gain the love of a woman. But I'm here to tell you on tonight that it's not enough. Carnal hypergamy is not enough. You need a woman like Sister Shirley Brown. Shirley Brown said that I love that man.
Now you see, I don't want no trouble now.
Yeah, Sister Shirley Brown knew about loving her man. She said, I love that man. That man was her everything. She lived her life for the glory of her man. You got women now that say they don't want no struggle love. You got women that say, I'm not going to come into a relationship where I got to struggle, but watch this. The gospel say, if you suffer with me, you will reign with me. And while I don't believe that a man should continue to be in a perpetual state of suffering, what is that woman going to give that man if she don't want struggle love? Because see, what a man needs, if she doesn't want struggle love, a man needs a woman that's virtuous. What is her virtuosity? Is she a virgin? Does she have kids by other men? Does she have a high body count? If you can't assess the value of a man, then damn it, you can't tell that man you don't want to struggle with him because you add no value to that man's life. You come in with a mindset that's predicated on being carnal instead of being predicated on being kosher. And men, that's why you must continue to set the bar high. You must continue to get non-diagnostic consultations and do the self-introspection so that you are not a slave and or a saboteur to women that are putting demands on you and they won't allow you to have anything yourself. If a woman want to say that she don't want to do struggle love, that's fine. But then you better make sure that you're a virgin. You better make sure you don't have kids by other men. You better make sure you're ready for the mission of a relationship. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to make 6 figures to a woman that's been ran through. I'm not going to make 6 figures for a woman that got kids by other men. I'm not going to make 6 figures for a woman that have not been trained to be a wife. Because men, you are the prize catcher. You determine if she's prize ready. You are the buyer. She's not the buyer. She's the recipient, just like she's the recipient when you put your phallus in her. So you don't let the woman tell you how to be the man. In other countries, the women know what their role is. The bride prepare herself for the bridegroom. The bridegroom, they prepare himself for the bride. Even though it was an understanding that the bridegroom was on his mission, on his purpose. The bride prepared herself for him instead of vice versa. But some of you men have been conditioned that, well, I gotta, make her happy. I'll be damned, you ain't gotta make her happy. You gotta make yourself happy. And if she cannot follow you, if she cannot corral her feelings, she's not ready for the mission of a marriage. She's not ready to come into your life. And that's why you have to recalibrate your mind so you can know what your worth is as a man. And that's why getting therapy is so important. That's why it's so important, men, to do the shallow work. The shallow work will help you see the dark recesses of your mind where you have been broken. And that's where I come in as a traditional male therapist to help you deal with those schemers that have caused some of you men to be singing the same old song over and over again. Tears.
Tears. Tears.
Yeah, you don't need to be a slave of having tears and thinking in nostalgia when you think women were like the women of old. The world is radically different. And it's time for you men to adjust your hard drive and start to begin to walk in the newness of your masculinity.
That you can't wait to share it with everybody else. You really can't.
Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on.
Now, guys, this is a response to the critics. This is a response to the critics that say, oh, they only damn going over there tricking. Oh, they just going over there tricking. They're not building nothing. I can see if they were going overseas getting married. Well, listen, if they're not getting married, who in the hell are you to tell a man what to do? You don't have to answer to another man. I wish a man would damn tell me what to do. You'll get your jaw rocked. No man tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. Don't you ever let the world or society or other men try to tell you how to be a man. I'm not telling you to go over there and do whatever, but listen, if it's in a country where they do what they do, that's between you and God. But you don't have to answer to no other damn man or trying to shame you for what you do with your phallus. Your phallus, your choice. Just like they say, my body, my choice. You got a right to live your life on your own terms, consistent with the right to self-determination. But once again, the critics always use shaming language because there are low-value men and low-value women, because the men are spam. They're simps pandering against men. They're spam, just like processed meat. They're spam. They're like spam meat. They're full of all kinds of negativity and preservatives. And instead of telling our women the truth, they aid them in their pathology.
No brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own.
Here are the receipts, guys. Here are the receipts to the men that are traveling. You know, they getting them they're getting them some wives, man. They're getting wives. They got receipts. You got a lot of men getting married.
Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own. Brother.
And a lot of them guys are dealing with women from Asia, because Asian women have been taught to serve and taught to be traditional. Asian women have been taught to practice kosher hypergamy. It's fit and proper, feminine, encouraging her man to greatness, pushing her man to greatness, instead of carnal hypergamy here in the West, which is exploitative.
On my own, no brother on your own. Brother on my own, no brother on your own.
We got receipts again, guys. Here are the receipts to the critics. That's one brother got a receipt. That's my man Dre with Love Crossing Borders. But you know, the critics say, oh, you know, they're just going over there tricking with that goofy behinds. Oh, they're just going over there tricking. They're not building nothing. You don't tell men what to do, fool. You live your life and let other men live their lives. I don't tell grown men what to do. I don't tell another grown man what to do with his phallus money or his health. That's between him and God. But see, these boys have been raised by the mothers, their mammies. They don't know any better. They've been raised by the mamas. They don't know any better. And what they seek to do is to tell men how to be men. Dre has a Colombian wife, beautiful Colombiana. His wife is from Colombia. But here are the receipts to the critics that said that, you know, they're tricking. And guys, Arabian women are up next. Arabian women are finding black men appealing. To remember, guys, you know, the lames, you know, the ones that some of you men are the men that men and women didn't want. Some of you men are the men that weren't tall enough, you know. You didn't make enough money. You didn't have swag. You were just average. So go abroad and get you a woman that can respect and honor you as a man. That's what you need to do. And guys, look at the joy on these men's face. I'm gonna tell you men something. Listen. A man that can get a woman that's operate in carnal kosher hypergamy, that woman can add years to your life, because that femininity is an oscillator. It's like a fan. It sprays the perfume of feminine demure all in your psyche, soul, and spirit. It's powerful to the vibrations of a man. Some of you men right now are suffering from low testosterone because you're dealing with a woman that's practicing carnal hypergamy. You're not dealing with a woman that's practicing kosher hypergamy. You're dealing with a woman that's practicing carnal hypergamy. Your blood pressure is up. Your cholesterol is up. Your libido is down and you're dealing with health issues because that woman is not inspiring you to become the best version of yourself. Like Sister Kendra said, and I agree with her 100%. Teddy Pendergrass said, you inspire me. He said, you're just like the Mona Lisa, because the Mona Lisa, she was feminine. And so when you can get a woman that can inspire you, when she can be the feminine oscillation that you need, that's when you become the better version of yourself. You are no longer a slave to the desires of what she expects you to do, but she acts as a complement to your masculinity instead of being in competition with your masculinity, which is masculine in itself, which is going to be very polarizing. And that's why men need feminine women. And that's why men are traveling abroad, consistent with Dr. William Glasser, needs driving behaviors. Look how happy these brothers are, guys. Some of these men have never experienced the joys and the happiness once they got a passport and traveled abroad. All right, any further proof? Don't need any further proof. You guys saw it firsthand. So listen, the link has been dropped. It appears no one is coming up, and that's fine. I'm going to end this stream in a minute, guys. But guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all have done an awesome job on the night. Thanks for the support. I love you, brothers and sisters. And to some of the new people that came over from Crimson Cure, thank you guys for tuning in as well. This has been an awesome show on tonight. Shout out to Dre with Love Crossing Borders, him and his beautiful wife. And guys, we're gonna sign off. It's been a great show on tonight. I really appreciate everything you guys have done. And we're gonna land the plane. And I'm gonna look at some NCAA basketball because Duke lost and I'm happy. And my heels are out, but Duke lost, so that's all that matters to me. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. And we're about to sign out.
I'm tired of America, so I'm hitting Richie on the net. I got the tickets, that's a bet. We need the link, my brother set it up. Damn, I didn't had enough. Ooh, I won't lie. Can I get a little shake with them fries? My skin tone is matching your eyes. Black men, you know we like them thighs. And baby, she can do it all. Your land is my land. Cut through.
Fire for your mind. Kosher clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Asking fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
Then said he unto me,
Then the Lord said unto me,
Prophesy unto the wind.
Preach unto the wind.
Prophesy, son of man.
Preach, son of man.
And say to the wind.
And say to the wind.
Thus saith the Lord God.
Thus saith the Lord God.
Come from the four winds.
Come from the north, south, east, and west.
O breath.
O breath.
And breathe upon these slings.
And breathe upon these dead bodies.
That they may live.
That they may live.
So I prophesied as he commanded me.
So I preached as the Lord commanded me.
And the breath came into them.
And breath came into them.
And they lived.
And they lived.
And stood up upon their feet.
And they stood upon their feet.
An exceeding great army.
An exceeding great army. south wind and preach to the east wind and preach to the west wind and tell the wind to blow on these bodies. And the preacher started preaching, said all winds, all four winds, said blow on these bodies that they may live. And when the preacher started preaching, the wind started blowing and all of those dead bodies, they came alive. The Bible said, and they stood up on their feet, an exceeding great army. But I heard the preacher said to them, you've been here long enough. You've been down in Babylon long enough. You've been dead and dry long enough. You've been separated long enough. Now let's come out of this valley. Let's go back to Zion. I heard him say, follow me. It's time now for a new beginning. Enough is enough. It's time for a new beginning. Come on and follow me. I heard them singing and they started to Jerusalem. We are marching to Zion.
It's not my fault. You've been lying, saying that I took away your peace. Drowning by yourself, now you wanna blame me. Like you have no options. I ain't take your options. Nah, I'm not the problem. Man, that's on you, yeah. You've been terrorizing me, yeah, I'm always wrong. I knew you lost your mind when you dropped that bomb. Girl, are you crazy? Yeah, you must be crazy. I've been thinking lately it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me. But baby, it's you. Lie like a rat, but take your stuff back. Baby, it's you. Baby, it's you. Say whatever and I would never hear. You've been flexing everywhere. Girl, look in the mirror. Man, you so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me. But baby, it's you. Lie like a rat, but take your stuff back. Baby, it's you. Baby, it's you. If I control the weather, then every day would rain on your parade. Shine, you can't change, yeah. If I was Father Time, then I would change the day. So I never saw your face. Hey, please, what do I have to do to make you go? Oh, baby, it's you.
They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just pull it out and count for nothing when I'm feeling great. Give my baby little more just to spend it, and I'm always on go, I don't hesitate. Used to always know I make it, yeah. I'll be me until I'm in the grave, yeah. See my record, had to set it straight, yeah. I make to kill like 10 times 10. I got wires coming in, some in euros, some in sec, some in dollars, some in yen. I've been trying to keep my zen, keep my cool. Trying to keep the family fed, get my food. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. Did it, do it. I did it all, no gimmicks. I did it all, no fibbits. Now I got all these children, now I got all these clones. Now I got all you twinning, now I got all you thinking like all you winning. They tried to count me out, they tried to fill that doubt. They tried to ride my wig, they tried to knock me out. They tried to count my wins, they tried to show my L's. They tried to make me in, they tried, but where they now? Where they? Step in the spot and they stare at me. All of these battles will bear me. I swear that nothing compares to me. Feeling blessed, I won't stress. Beat the odds, you know the rest. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend. They tried to count me out, I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account, now I got something to spend.
All right, guys, we're signing off on tonight. Once again, it's been a great one. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have been excellent on tonight. I appreciate all the participants. And based on the poll, guys, the question was, are modern women entitled to your resources without merit? It basically means if a woman don't earn your money, if she doesn't earn your support, is she entitled to it? And the question is no. Signing off, guys. Been a great show. And don't be a victim of carnal hypergamy as modern women led to the bank. Be well.
Left it to the bank like ha 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 ha. Left it to the bank like ha 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 ha. I got it in 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s. Left it to the bank like pedal to the floor, need no brake lights. In the dark, watch me make light. I'm a star, got no stage fright. Please don't get me mad, I'm a nice guy. My baby say I'm cute, yeah, I'm type fine. I be waking up when you go night-night. In a different zone with the time. Left it to the bank like ha 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 ha. Go. Left it to the bank like ha 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 ha. I got it in 10, 20, 50.
Don't let the modern woman laugh at you as she goes to the bank to steal your joy, peace, and happiness. Get you a woman that practice kosher hypergamy.
All black clothes like a medal. Little this and this, little Rick and Rick. It's my grandmama, I'm her Nicky Nick. I just wanna love, but I've been hit or miss. I might up and leave, then take a pic, slap it to the bank like ha 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 ha. Slap it to the bank like ha 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 ha. I got it in 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s, 10s, 20, 50, 100s.
Fire for your mind. The Kosher Clinician.